of Africa. Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Show, yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. Every say what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? On Vicky O Show every Saturday. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? Of Africa. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria?
Hello everyone, this is Vicky Falaji. You are welcome to the Nigeria We Want. This is a show about Nigeria, about what's going on and about what kind of Nigeria that we want. We talk about all that every Saturday. Thank you for joining us. But before we go ahead, we have a couple of businesses that have been supporting us. They've been with us from day one. They are the ones that are making this possible. Join me to say a very big thank you to Provision GSH Plus. Check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need because the ingredients contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. A very big thank you to Provision GSH Plus for sponsoring this show. You can order through the link vickyoshow@gmail.com. Just send us an email and we will get you into connection with Provision team. The second business is called Capstone Medical Center Bainsdale, group of medical doctors doing wonders within the community where they are, providing medical services to the people within that community. Check them out. Capstone Medical Center and the team, we thank you. Thank you so much for helping us to bring this program onto our viewers. Now, Mr. Wally Olaikon, welcome to the show tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Dr. Vicky. It's good to be back. And I must really commend your headgear.
Yeah,
this is
Nigeria.
This is Madame Kofo
Exactly. Just look
the
at that
the
satellite dish.
the edge here is really, it's really, I can't just keep my eyes off it. It's really commendable.
Yeah. I just come back from a get together.
Yeah,
Friend's father passed, and he was having a get together in memory of the father. So
yeah,
Elvis also will be joining us shortly because he also attended. But yeah,
yeah.
um,
I saw Elvis,
earlier on, yeah.
earlier on. I was at
Mm,
the Igbo Cultural Day at the
mm,
Werribee Zoo. So yeah,
mm,
that was fun. So
yeah.
a combination of celebration of Igbo culture, and the
Mm,
environment was good because we had many people from non-African backgrounds
we're there.
that were there just on their own as part of the just visiting the zoo. Right? So they came
Mm,
around to see what was
we're-
going on. Yeah, so
mm, that was good.
that was good.
Yeah, a good way to see something positive about Nigeria, actually,
Yeah,
for those people who don't even know, much about Africa. It's
yeah,
good
yeah.
that,
That was good. And I've always
mm,
been an advocate that when we promote our culture, most times we promote it among ourselves. Like we are in this, like in a community hall with mostly 90% of people there are of Nigerian heritage and culture. In a way,
mm,
we promoting what we know to ourselves.
exactly.
But like this was an open zoo with this big African kind of village within that
Mhm,
zoo, and then we had a
mhm.
lot of our obviously Caucasian friends coming over just to be
Checking
part
it
of it
out.
and checking it out. So I thought that was really
Mm,
brilliant. Yeah,
mm. I would have loved to be there, but of course, we I was in Burnsdale for 7 days, so I got
wow,
back very late last night
last night,
and
yeah,
had a lot to do early this morning before going to a dear friend's
there's
thing. Egboyemi, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I met you describing the zoo extravaganza.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I saw some pictures and they were really awesome. They were really
Mm,
Thanks, sir.
mm. It's good, and I was actually my
I
daughter and sorry,
sorry.
sorry.
I sincerely hope the zebras and the rhinos learnt a bit of Igbo dance as well.
Yeah, I did from where they were. I'm sure they had the
It
music, they
was.
had the sound, they're moving their bodies to the rhythm.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always a good thing. And my daughter and I, we quickly went to, Pastor Jitomobi's house this morning. My youngest daughter drove me there, and we were talking. So she came out, and I introduced her to Mrs. Ajetomobi. Um, and then we just started talking about, um, telling our own stories, sharing our own stories. The Caucasian, they could have, if they pick a story like that, like, oh, the Igbos are dancing, showing off their culture and stuff like that. They could tell that story from another angle of idol worshipping and stuff like that. But we have to share our own story. We have to, any opportunity we have, we've got to be able to tell it and tell it from an angle that this is what we know and this is what we love to do and this is what we enjoy. So I missed it, and I hope they will have something like that again, soon, because I like to come and have a look. But I've got something here for Wale. Egmon's own is actually on the way to Nigeria.
Okay, wow. That's my
Oh,
author of the year. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
wow!
Thank you.
That's that's what it looks like.
Oh
I
wow.
can't wait.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
For that, for that big honor, and to all
Mm.
the people in their wisdom that voted for me. I
Yeah.
say sincere appreciation, and obviously will is an inspiration for me to continue to think and to continue to
To write.
to write and to know that some people are paying attention out there. So thank you very much. I can't wait to get it in the mail, or maybe I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know. But
Um,
I'm sure we organize something on how I
we
get
will.
it.
We will. We will.
Thank you.
Egbon's own is actually, I've already given them to the courier people. They will get it across when they get it across. All right. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much for
No
joining us
problem.
today, Egbon.
So what?
I said thank you for joining us today.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine. And
Mm.
please, I lost the information your man. Anyway, I'll get back to you on that. I lost the
All right.
information your man sent to me.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, about the
um,
global achievers.
due to technical hitches with my phone. So I would
Mm.
honestly want him to kindly send.
All right, we'll be done. Yep, no worries. Okay, so today is all about what is trending again. And I think, I'm not sure about you, or for me, I love this way of us doing it, just going into what's been trending and looking at it from whatever angle we want to look at it and just talking about it. It's been great doing it for the last 6 weeks, I believe. So I think we're gonna get into it. So why do you like to take on the mic?
Yeah, thank you very much. So we have been, our extended version of what is trending, and which I agree with the Dr. Vicky that um, it's a very good way of covering a lot of things happening in the country from social, political, and economic, angles. So, um, the first thing that what that is trending is the fact that is getting more serious when Sultan of Sokoto, you know, um, decided to call out the president on the level of insecurity in Nigeria. The Sultan actually and other prominent northern leaders um, made a passionate plea to President Muhammadu Buhari about the state of insecurity in Nigeria, and asked Mr. President to do the needful, to do the right thing, and to do his number one duty of protecting lives and property of Nigerians, across the country, especially in that northeast part of the country with all the terrorist, activities going on there. So that is really prominent. Parts of this Sultan's message was also to the Christians, because earlier in the week some bandits really, oh well, I call them terrorists, told Christians in Zamfara, to be precise, not to dare going to church, especially around Christmas period, or any form of worship around that point, that's that part of the year. Um, Obviously, the Sultan, demonstrated solidarity with the Christians, telling them to ignore that kind of message. But in my mind, the issue now is far beyond someone just assuring them or giving them words of encouragement to go to church when people, they don't have any form of security around them. So that is number one thing that is trending. And I just want to go to Egbon just to hear Egbon's views on that, and then I'll go to Dr. Vicky as well.
The irony is that, thank you so much, Wale. The irony is that it's actually number one on my list. It's on top of my list. Very, very
Okay,
top.
go for it.
And when you mentioned it, I thought, okay, here we go. It's a very sad thing. It's a very sad development that has been going on forever. And thank you for reiterating that word, terrorists. I feel I get on edge when I hear this set of people being referred to as bandits. It's like placating them. It's like painting them nice, right? If they are bandits, civil defense and Boy Scout and all that would take care of that. But the honest truth is that these are terrorists. They are waging a war against a nation, but using soft targets as the tool. It is now obvious that the killings in the north are underreported. The killings in the north are underreported, and it is probably almost getting to the level of the word is not mayhem. I'll get that word where it's like sending a lot of people to the point of extinction, sending a race into extinction. It is worrisome, and unfortunately, a lot of us that are out here and then in the cities believe that, well, as long as we sleep with our two eyes closed, no other sound is coming from any other place. The honest truth is the killings in the northern part of this country are underestimated. And then we had mass protests because the people have had it up to the neck. We had mass protests in Katsina, Bauchi, in Kano, and in Abuja. Women, youths, and all that, they are saying that they've had enough, that they are helpless, that they feel unprotected, and they are ready, and they're out there, despite the sort of clamp down on such protests by the police. They are ready to face it, and it tells you that things are really, really bad. Listen, we had a bus full of people that was attacked, and the people there were burnt. It turned out that these were the same set of people that were running away from terrorists in their communities, only for them to fall into the hands of another set of terrorists and then losing their lives in the process. Some of these women protesting in Katsina, Bauchi, Kano mentioned it. And I'll tell you that Kaduna, Gombe, Yobe, Kebbi are expected to join this protest today. And the ultimate really is that all the northern parts, all the northern states are probably planning one protest or the other. They are likely to be out there screaming and shouting and asking to be protected. Listen, when a government loses the ability, the first thing on its menu, which is the protection of lives and property, when you cannot deliver on that, then there is wahala. There is wahala, and I do not want anybody here, because you are in your cocoon, you are in that high wall surrounding you and all that, to feel you are safe. Nobody at this rate is safe if this continues. Nobody. Then there is this issue of a lot of our security people, being assigned to protect VIPs to the detriment of the larger society. It's a big problem. It is a huge problem, and daily people are losing their lives. Something really has to give, or something must be done. For now, I'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Egbon, for that's extensive reporting on that particular topic. Dr. Vicky, do you have anything to add on, especially on the points like security personnel, police and mobile police, and in some cases soldiers that are supposed to be providing security are now attached to the VIPs in government, and also to some celebrities. You see them around with mobile police following them around, You see about 4 or 5.
Not that alone. If people like us that goes home, like now with Christmas and all that, there'll be lots of people from overseas, and they pay, and these people will leave whatever they're supposed to be doing, protecting every member of the community to look after this one person that can pay. That happens a lot, and it's been happening more and more. And you see this mobile police earning what they normally earn in 2 months, they earn in a weekend. So it makes them happy. But some of the work that they're supposed to be doing, I mean, we there's a number of police that were supposed to be in this place, you know, being available to protect members of the community. Half of them, they followed, they've been attached to VIPs, they've been attached to celebrities, they've been attached to people arriving from overseas. And what happens if something happened? That we don't have enough people, enough police to manage the situation. So it's something that government needs to look into. They need to look into it because it's just not right.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's the concept, within my field, we call governance of security. And governance of security centers around that, security architecture, and also allows for participation of non-states. We call them non-states, participants in provision of security. So it allows that in any state, even in the most advanced economies, that we have non-states participants in governance of security. But that is something you give to private security companies. That's why we have private security companies. For example,
Exactly.
if someone is visiting from Canada, is on holiday in Nigeria for Christmas or whatever, and they want to be protected for whatever reason, fair, that is good. But it's not something they have to get, public paid policemen to do that. They approach private security, to provide that, that service.
There are issues sorry, Wale. There are security issues also in South Africa, but you cannot go and pay their public policemen or army to come and look after you. There are private security companies that provide such services, security services to people, including hiring a car that is already, fully geared for your protection, like armored car.
Okay.
Even if there is an incident, you still be okay, So something needs, and unless governments do something about it, this will keep happening.
Sorry. Here, back at home here. At every point, an Inspector General of Police is appointed. A new one is appointed. One of the first things you will hear him say is, no more deployment of the police for private security protection. He's giving an order, all policemen attached to VIPs, VVIPs should be withdrawn immediately. You get that, and you think, oh, you want to hear a sigh of relief. Do not be fooled, because days after, if not almost immediately, you will still find them all over the place protecting these VIPs. 6, 10, 15 of them protecting one man, almost emptying a whole police station for such duties. So that has been on, that is still very much on, and there's no indication that it will stop soon. Now, I also want to add this to the fray. Kidnappings still going on like no man's business. I was speaking with a friend who works with a multinational company just last night, and he told me that, listen, it's nothing new. They contribute to GoFund regularly.
Wow.
They are friends. You just get the call, so person has been kidnapped, and the next thing that is expected is for friends to rally around and start putting money. They've asked for 100 million to release such a person, and then they start negotiating like it's about tubers of yam and gari. They now have to contribute money. By the end of the day, eventually they will part. They will part with 5 million, 10 million, and that is a regular thing. It is a regular incident. Now, he was just planning to go to Ibadan today. And I'll tell you, calls were made. And before you know it, a policeman is available to do the job with ammunition. That is a trip from Lagos to Ibadan. Just for the fear of what could happen on the expressway. That is still going on. And then finally, something came on social media recently. A company advertising for those who will be going to the east during this period. That is an axis that is notorious for such attacks, for kidnappings. And then this company comes up to advertise a service, fully kitted vehicle, armed policemen. You're ready to pay about 350,000 for the trip from Lagos to the east. The same amount, 350,000 for the trip from the east back to Lagos. And then you paid over 200 and something thousand naira per day for protection in the village for that period, for whatever period you decide to stay. It is madness. That is the level where I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but the truth is that is the reality on ground. So while all those ones are deployed for such services, the majority of the people are left in the hands of prayer warriors. So I don't know where we're going from here. I don't know. And then don't forget, ministers have theirs, governors have theirs, members of the legislative chambers, Senate have theirs, members of the Houses of Assembly have theirs.
You have forgotten pastors.
Pastors, oh yes, pastors who are even expected to be fully spiritually armed have theirs.
Pastors selling to their people, pastors selling to their congregations oil of anointing, oil of
they have multitude of policemen protecting them. They have policemen protecting them. Even when they are visiting, they are going for crusade. They are accompanied by armed policemen into the crusade ground. That is what we have. So who is left to protect my people? Who is left to protect the masses? Who is left to protect us?
That's a $1 billion question, Ebon, in terms of who is going to protect the people. And you see the body language and, of people in government. It's like people have moved on. They've moved on. They rarely even discuss that again. Everyone is, is focusing on the next election in 2023. I'm talking about that. There was a book launch in Lagos. Yeah, so just a couple of days ago, who is in Nigerian politics, from the president to the governors, attended that big event. And to me, like it looked like an unofficial
campaign.
is an unofficial like commencement of the campaign, in terms of the caliber of people that were there. And there's something that I came across this evening. Like, when people release books, you see, people quoting from that book. And I think the book is going to cause a lot of controversy already. If you don't mind, I quickly read, a paragraph or two from, I haven't read the book, so I just came across this. And Shiva Konde actually, he had a go at former President Olusegun Obasanjo. And some of those words, they are very serious stuff that is said about, President Olusegun Obasanjo. He said he finally agreed to serve when he was given the go-ahead by our movement, Afenifere, and our party, the AD. It was late before he realized it was a case of death. All this made me wary of Obasanjo's relentless dalliance. I knew him to be a faithless suitor and an and a philanderer on the political field. You trust him at your own peril.
Uh-oh.
So
that was Busha.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, so that's just something I came across, I just this evening, and it was a direct quote from the book, and I think we should be waiting for a lot of controversy, emerging from that book, and particularly in reference to some of the political, actors that were referenced in the book. The title of the book is My Participations. So, Egbon, have you been following anything about my participations? We don't want to promote his book because he hasn't.
I thought Egbon was even the MC, so you are not the MC.
I escaped that. One thing I can say, I will not want to hold brief for General Obasanjo. I wouldn't want to hold brief for him, but you can be rest assured of one of two things, because I'm very sure that none of this came to him, would hit him with a surprise. I'm very sure about that. You can be sure of one or two of two things. Either for him to ignore, that is one. No, it's possible. You can be sure of either he ignores it or it comes down with so much venom.
Exactly.
The second one is the most likely. The second one is the most likely. And I think we all should get our popcorn, get a drink, and let's see what happens thereafter. Luckily, they are both still alive, so it's not a question of hitting a dead horse. So I think we should. I don't want to preempt the reactions we get, and I honestly also would not want to promote, just as he said, a book that would not be paid for to do so. Yeah. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Not a problem. So are we paused now and go to Vicky? Any other thing trending for you, Vicky?
Auntie Kemi's response on journalism reporting. I don't even know what English to put it. About Sylvester. Remember that young man?
Yes.
When Auntie Kemi Oluloyo started claiming that the boy agreed to be beaten as part of what do you call it?
Initiation.
Initiation into court, so that the boy agreed to be beaten and to drink engine oil. That's Keminulu lawyers' investigative journalism in court. For me, that was so, I mean, she had been in that low point before, but this just took the cake for me. Only a week or just over a week of losing that young man, and she came up with this weird thing. I know people do crazy stuff to be part of a group or cult or whatever, but an 11-year-old young man agreeing to be beaten black and blue. How about what came out from me, what the other roommates were saying, and all that kind of stuff. So for me, it was just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. So that's one thing that just, and the other one was there was a chase on, I'm not sure which road in Lagos, and some kids were killed. They were in the school bus, and they were killed. And I'm like, what is actually going on? The third one was this woman that locked the kids in a car, and those kids died, of course, in the heat, right? They died. Not sure how many kids, but they died in that car. How can people be so? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Our kids, the kids should be treated better. In Nigeria, I mean, remember even here, there was a time when my kids were little. My youngest was actually a baby still in a, I think she was like maybe 2-3 months old, and my eldest was like 4.5. And I needed to quickly drop something at the shopping mall. So the kids were in the car, and we were still relatively new in Australia. So I had no idea that the kids were in the car, windows rolled down. I just rushed in, dropped whatever I needed to drop. I didn't stop, came back. By the time I got back to the car, the two security men were by my car waiting for me. One of the other shoppers saw the kids, called the police. Called the security guy, and the person called the police. And the security guy said, I cannot go anywhere. I have to wait for the police to get there. I'm like, my heart was beating, beep, 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 I'm in trouble. But I said, I've only just left because my baby was sleeping. I didn't want to disturb her, and I needed to drop this thing. And they said, no, it's against the law for you to leave. It was even winter season, not summer. It's against the law to leave kids in the car. When we make law can be broken by anybody. But when there is no check and balances, when there's speed limits that says 60 kilometers, there's nobody watching, there's nobody checking that. Are people abiding by that rule? People will break that rule and break it again and again. It's the same thing. Now, with this person that left the kids in the car in that, Nigeria weather now, left the kids in the car. Those kids died, all of them. Abi Agbon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Wale, go on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I wanted to ask for your opinion about our investigative journalism
Yes.
sister and also on these unfortunate incidents, of those babies that died, or they were suffocated in the car or in the bus.
I restrained myself from cutting Dr. Vicky short after she mentioned Kemi Olunloyo, because that has been the lowest I've seen her, and it's actually despicable journalism. I wouldn't know where anybody in his or her right senses would come up with such a thing. One, Sylvester wasn't agreeing to part with his tin of vomit or of beverage. It wasn't a case of Sylvester giving out his packet of sugar at the age of 11. Prior to that, he's been forced to let go some of this stuff, some of these groceries. Now, for anybody to come up and tell us that that 11-year-old boy agreed to hurt himself, where did Kemi get this information from? Is it from the people that brutalized this young boy? Is it from the housemates that were threatened not to say anything to anybody? From who? Or did she visit Sylvester in the morgue to get this information? But maybe I shouldn't really use so much energy on what Kemi Olunloyo says, because if you follow our trend, this is not too far from the normal as far as she's concerned. But I think it's inhuman. I think it's insensitive for anybody to say such a thing, even just a week after this boy passed on. I think any woman, whether you have a child or not, wouldn't venture into such. Anybody with human feeling, anybody with blood running in his or her veins wouldn't even do this. It is unfortunate, but well, it is Kemi Olunloyo. It is Kemi Olunloyo.
Okay, so we leave it at that and move on. Quite an insensitive, comments coming at very, very, very wrong time. It's good to have different perspectives, on topics, on issues. We get that, but you just still have to give the family a break and give them a break and give them the break to mourn the death of a child before coming up with some of these other theories. They're very insensitive. We go a bit spiritual.
I'm sorry, Wale. Hello, yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, what she has said, how does it justify the act by these guys?
Exactly.
How do you inflict? How do you, he agreed that I should slap him. Now he's deaf. I mean, something as simple as that. He agreed that I should, even between the husband and wife, she agreed that in the process of lovemaking, she needed to be beaten to get her high. And now she is dead. And then you just walk the streets freely. What sense does it make? Yeah. The poor boy at 11 years agreed that he should be beaten, agreed that he will drink, and then he is gone. And so, how does that exonerate the brutes? I mean, the people, the killers. Oh, she should get a life. Kemi should get a life, please.
Yeah, thanks, Egbon.
Some people's comments were, how much has she been paid? Who's dictating? Who is paying the piper? I mean,
I don't know. I think it's just
paying the piper. People were just making all that kind of comments, and when you in this kind of space, where's integrity? Where is she had no human feelings, because if you have feelings, you think about the poor parent and what the family, what they are going through at this time. To go to that lowest of the low, to me, it's just beyond. It's beyond madness.
Thank you. And
I'm sorry. The song that is ringing. I'm sorry. The song, Wale. Sorry, the song that is ringing in my head. The only song that is ringing in my head is "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Who let the dogs out? Oh, yeah. Yes. So that captures it accurately. That captures it, more accurately. The General Overseer of Redeemed Christian Church of God recently slammed developed nations for discrimination against developing countries, especially the discrimination against African countries, specifically, around the COVID-19, the new variant, Omicron variant of COVID-19. And how Western world responded with, banning travelers from South Africa, initially from initial 6 or 7 countries from, Southern African, and now to many countries, including Nigeria. So it took, the General Overseer was offended, and he slammed them for that move. And also he said some things around how the developed nations, how they thought we are going to, like Africans, are going to die like chicken. He felt that, they, whatever theory or whatever assumptions they had, they completely ignore the fact that, we have God that is protecting us in Africa. And that is why, despite against all odds, we've been able to survive without having, large number of Africans, losing their lives to COVID. So is, to me, two sides of that same argument. The issues around, the discrimination. Do we agree in that it was, actually discrimination, or do they have to do what they have to do to protect their own, their citizens? Number one. And I get the side of God protecting us, but I also think that in a religious country like ours, that everything that comes out from, men of God and pastors, people could take everything literally. I also have concerns around that, about the fact that we don't really allow science to do what science, needs to do. The fact that, that people might start to, in a way, come up with all this argument that it is only God that is protecting us. Anyway, God is protecting us, but also we also need to do some other things in terms of, for our protection, and as a country to have policies around this COVID-19 and how to really protect the people. I'll start with Dr. Vicky. If do you have anything to say to the General Overseer's comments?
I'll say, to start with, the Western world, you see, it's not just this COVID thing. When they do things like this, it goes back to who we are, how we are, and how we do things. So they closed their border against us. They made that choice. The point is, we are the one chasing them. We are the one going there. They are not begging to come to us. What's that saying? It's the same thing with China and Western world right now. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this in another way. China is saying they've given, they've given cheaply. They got Western world addicted to things coming out from China. Now, China is able to switch on or switch off whenever they want. You know, it's happening right now with China and Australia. So it's the same way with Africans and the Western world. They're able to do that because it's not about COVID itself. It's about, yes, we have this power and we can say, we have enough of you guys. We don't need you right now. We're shutting the door for now. Now, our general overseer has something to say about that. I want to know, what has he said about the insecurity that is making our people to keep going there? What has he said about bad governors? What has he said about this, about that? He's able to talk about Western world and criticizing them for saying, yeah, we want to shut our door. If you're doing that, what are you doing with what is happening even right in front of your nose? That is my own way of looking at this. It's deeper than, oh, yeah, they're discriminating. They've been, that's not new. It's what they do. And they do it whenever. I mean, why is it that, despite the fact that we went to university, you couldn't go to university without passing your English, at least at credit level. And then you want to study here, you must go and do English exam. Why? Somebody in Russia, from Russia, that doesn't even speak English, doesn't have to do the exam. It's not new. But for us to say, oh, they are doing this, they are doing that, we have to look inside our own, what's going on within for us.
That's a very deep way, of looking at it, and I agree with your, analysis 100%. It has to do with the fact that, the basis of most of the way the West treat countries, the basis is more about the economy. Even the democracy we talk about comes second.
Exactly. If
you see the way, the West deal with like Saudi Arabia, for example, it's not a democratic country.
Yeah.
It's purely on the basis of, the same Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
The prince ordered the killing of a journalist that was killed, journalist that was lured to Saudi Arabia embassy in is it in Turkey? Ashogbe. Yeah, and it was butchered. Everything pointed in that direction. It was butchered right there. The people that did the job, the toxicologists, the hitmen, they all came and from the Saudi government, and they did it, and nothing really happened. It's because of the economy, and they had so many to lose in terms of contract and what have you. So, what is your take? Dr. Vicky has given a new dimension that if we keep our house in order, if we develop our connections and build the economy, how many Saudis have I met in my journey here? I can't recall. How many people from UAE? Maybe they came for something else holiday, not to come out also like many of us. So what is your take on general overseer in terms of that discrimination and the use of the religion in general in a positive way to say, okay, if you don't have anything, we have God, but there's also the other side of that comment as well.
Thank you, Wale. And of course, Dr. Vicky, thank you so much because you captured a major part of my mind. But let me say this categorically. Pastor Adeboye, I'm with him on this. He has a right to say what he has said. And of course, he used the platform that was available to him to express it. Fair enough. Fair enough. I also think I'm also of the opinion that Africa seems to be a very soft target for them, for the developed world, and so at every opportunity they clamp down on us, and for good or bad reasons they do. On this particular issue of as much as they have a right to protect their citizens, I think there is a bit of discrimination with it. But having said that, I sincerely hope, and I doubt it, but let me still hope that it is a right message sent to our leaders in Africa. Because these are the same set of people that will steal money here and take it out there and make their economy better.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same set of people that will not do what is required, what is desired by their people to live a good life, and will rather keep that money, ill-gotten as it may be, keep it out there where it will be utilized to run the economy out there. And they believe that, of course, they will have access to it when they want to feel comfortable, when their children want to enjoy themselves. Now, these people have shown it over and over again, just as Dr. Vicky said. And sincerely, it is about the economy. It is about the economy. If you look at their pronouncements, if you look at their actions, you can see that easily. Developed countries that have higher rates of this Omicron thing, they're not looking their way, they're not shutting them out because they are in Europe, because they're in the Americas, they are not shutting them out of their land. We have our own issues here. Yes. Even managing the COVID issue, managing the COVID pandemic has exposed a lot of things about us. How do you leave the shores of this country and with a fake COVID certificate, immunization certificate? What sense does it make? And then a little check there shows that you are carrying something fake. So you are there at that point. You are not just you. You are saying something about the system that operates back at home.
Exactly.
And they will be right to be suspicious about every other certificate presented.
Exactly.
So it becomes something that we need to have a rethink. We could be very reckless with certain things that we do. We are so selfish that, not considering the fact that a singular ill action by us, a singular rubbish action, a singular foolish action by us rubs on thousands of others who are passing through that same road. They look at everybody suspiciously. So that is the thing. It's a question of you cannot beat me and still insist that I mustn't cry. So if Pastor Adeboye is crying out along that line, it is because it hurts. It is because that action hurts the people. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And he will not be the first person that will be saying this. The Secretary General of the United Nations said it. Ambassador to UK said it. And some other people, a lot of other people have said it. So it's not just Pastor Adeboye that's saying this. However, the bulk of the problem is here. The bulk of it, just as Dr. Vicky said, we need to put our house in order. Listen, the major chunk of our budget is spent on security. And the major chunk of our headache is security. So you have allocated money for analgesic to cure my headache. But what I have in as a result of even the medicine you are applying is migraine. So it becomes an issue. So if people are running away because of for lack of security, which is a major reason for the movement that you're seeing here, apart from the economy, a major reason is that of security. If people are running away as a result of that, what do you expect the developed world to do to us? Because we have those in power that are supposed to ensure that we are secured, relatively safe, but it's not happening. It's not happening. Now we churn out figures about COVID infection and all that, and it is alleged. I'm saying alleged now. It is alleged that we want to impress WHO so that we could access loans, we could access grants. It is still these same figures that the Western world is using against us.
Exactly.
It is the same figures that the Western world is using against us. It is true that they expected us to be dropping on the streets like chicken, but Mother Nature has been kind to us. Mother Nature has been kind to us. It does not mean that we do not have COVID here. We do. But by the time we start playing to the gallery, we now every morning, you now reel out figures, blah, 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 blah. This is there, this is that. And then they grab these figures, they grab the statistics, they work with it against us. Well, I know they finish, I think.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all about where they can get loans, where they can get money, loans that they will divert to their personal use. You know, you just look at how many able-bodied men and women end up in sex trafficking in some godforsaken place. Now you even think, how on earth would someone even think you're going to that a place to go and make a living, to go and make some money? Look at thousands of young men, and women that have died trying to trek in the desert to get to Libya or to get to somewhere. Look how many people that have lost their lives in the Mediterranean Sea. That is enough for a serious continent to call a summit to address some of these issues, to address how to really turn things around. But what do? They don't talk about it. You see people, losing their lives, even recently on the English, channel, trying to cross to England. You see that happening in Italy almost on regular basis. Who really cares? So I think in a way, most of our problem, the day they will start to really treat us and give us and treat us with dignity is when we begin to treat our people with dignity and we put to do things right. People, we all had uncles that went to US and studied and they came back in the maybe 70s when Naira had more value than US dollars. So there was no basis to go and stay there and and join the queue with the way they treated blacks in the US at the time. We had people in our family that went to England, when the £1, it was 2 naira to £1. So who wants to stay in the cold there when you could come back home? And so that is why we thought we do what we do. That's what we do, because it's more about good governance that is creating all these problems. The way they treat us and everything is more about the way we treat ourselves as as people. And if you decide tomorrow, Dr. Vicky, to even pick someone that talk all the big grammar on Facebook, do a little business with them, and trust not too much, and trust £1 million in that person's hands. Just £1 million. Don't even waste your time. And trust £1 million, and it's okay, and try and get feedback. It's something I've experienced a few times. I just shake your head. And these are some of the colleagues that they go on Facebook and talk about good governance, about this, about that, and trust them with some little money. You lose your money and you damage that friendship for life.
Exactly.
I think we need to change our psyche.
It has to be individual. Yes, the government has to do what the government has to do, but individually, like I once said, somebody traveling here, everywhere we go, we show a certificate. You can't go to the shop without showing your certificate. You can't go to a restaurant without showing your certificate. You can't go to church without showing your certificate. Now, you go ahead to get a fake certificate. As soon as they get to know that, oh, you people, this is what you are doing, it's not going to be just that person. It's everybody else that looks like that person from that time on. Because we all do we generalize all the time. It's not just them. We also do generalize, right? But
Yep.
now look at a family, a couple and their children that got permanent residency for Canada.
Yeah.
How can they be so stupid? They got there during this COVID thing and they said, okay, you guys who just arrived from Africa, we need you to isolate for 14 days. 14 days. They thought it was like Nigeria. The Canadian government sent some of their people to go and check. They realized that they've gone to the shop. With all their permanent residency, they send them back to Nigeria.
Wow. Well, I missed that. I missed that news. I missed
Oh
that. Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I mean, that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity. That's what we're talking about. Individual. If each and every one of us can do our own part, our continent will not be where it is. Our continent will not be where it is. We would be much better. But some people, they are trying to be wiser. They think, not trying to be, they think they are wiser. They are trying to be, they are trying to be, how do you say it? You know, like they think they can get away with anything. And it's just not right. It's just not right. And that scares me with the younger generations coming after us. Look at those young people that killed those that boy. Look at those young boys. And that's just one school. Only God knows what else is happening all over the place. Young people doing that.
Yeah.
Talking about sorry, Wale.
Yeah.
Sorry, talking about that family in Canada. Our elders are wise. Our elders are wise. They said, Efiniwa is the same attitude of recklessly breaking the laws here that they've carried on to that place.
Exactly.
I don't know that family. Unfortunately, I feel for them. Because if for whatever it is, I can tell you that they must have sold
everything.
Virtually all they have here. They must have, they said bye-bye to Nigeria. They must have sold everything. Maybe the husband even resigned from work. Maybe the wife resigned from work. The children have been uprooted from school. And then, listen, who else would have gone to Canada when they say you should isolate? Left to me, I would have locked that door and thrown the keys away. What am I shopping? What shopping experience do I want to have within 14 days that we cannot sit there? In fact, the TV will be complaining that we are watching it. What are we talking about? It's not a matter of you are hungry and you must get food from outside. No. So what are we talking about? But just as somebody said this morning, if the village people were not too happy about their departure, because it is a lesson. I have to send that thing to some groups in which I am a yara in break. Because listen, some societies, they have put certain things in place. And when you are in Rome, do like the Romans. Or if you have an opportunity to be in Canada, do like the Canadians. Me, I'm already practicing to be an Australian, even from.
Jare, we are waiting.
It is so sad. It is so sad. I don't know. on their way back, maybe they should just stop over in Ghana and start over again. Something. Because it's a very sad story, but it's a very strong lesson.
For
It's a very strong lesson
everyone,
to
we
everybody.
shouldn't just
Everybody.
laugh at, and then people shouldn't be laughing at them,
To
because
everybody.
it's for everyone to learn a big lesson.
I feel
That,
for them.
you know, you've been given an opportunity, grab it, and use your brain. Use that brain.
Jeez.
It's sad.
On
Well,
on that note, I will go. We start from Egbon to get Egbon's final observation or observations. For tonight. My final observation is around, President Buhari assured Nigerians of, transparent and, violence-free election in 2023. So for a man that has given so many assurances, I don't know what to really make of, what he has said, but that is what he has said, that come 2023, we should be assured of a free and fair and transparent election. So that's my final observation for tonight. Egbon?
well, we've had promises and promises and promises. It won't hurt if we wake up to yet another one. It is okay. When you're leaving the stage as an actor, you want to break a leg. You want to really perform to the desire of the audience. But it is okay. If it is one area where he wants to outshine his predecessor, good luck. All the best. The better it is for this country. They've done one or two of such elections, and we've had the semblance of that kind of promise. So I won't want to take it away from him, even if a lot of other things are not done. But if that is the only thing, if that is one thing that he's going to leave us with, it is fair. We will pick up from wherever that is left. That is that. UAE, the country gave, I think, about 21 flights daily, weekly or so, to gas given to UAE Emirates,
Yeah.
to fly to Nigeria. And Air Peace, our own airline here, probably applied to fly thrice in a week. But because they felt they could dictate the tunes, they only granted one flight. So Nigeria, in response to that, also reduced Emirates flight from the 21 Lagos and Abuja to one flight. Let us do it 1-1. Of course, we know where the team is. 1-1 goalless draw. And of course, in their own reaction to that, people decided to suspend their flights to Nigeria. Well, talks are ongoing, but the fact is, we know that we are the ones going out there to spend our money.
Exactly.
So we are the ones going out there to spend. You made reference to that earlier, Dr. Vicky. We are the ones going out there to spend our money. So if they say we should keep our money there, we will probably look at some other places to go, or hold on until common sense prevails. Well, that's the bit I have today. That's my last words. But we need to put our house in order. We need to get our priorities right, so that we will not be made a footmat by the developed world. Thank you.
Thank you, Egbo. Over to you, Dr. Vicky.
So that we will not be made to be a footmat for the developed world. That is huge. And we just hope that somebody somewhere in the high places in Nigeria is watching this, or maybe replaying this, or somebody should them this, because it is high time that we fix what needs to be fixed. It's becoming too much, and it's not new. It's not new. I was actually listening to something with my husband this morning, with China and developed world, and you know, China is doing everything possible to say, you know what, you've lost your position. And China is able to do that because of the economic power. It's power, and China has it. Now they are trying to quickly come together, to say, what can we do about this China, they're trying to do that. China is able to do that, since the time that we have COVID and the Chinese students are not coming to Australia. We know how greatly impacted it has been on, especially since we've been allowed to move freely. Everywhere they're looking for workers. They're looking for hospitality workers. They are begging. Why is that? The school, if you check out universities, the money coming from all these Chinese countries, Chinese people studying here in Australia, that's gone to almost zero. They pay high fees. And since COVID, that's gone. Most unis, they are running in red. They are running, they are begging, let's open, let's get them back. But Chinese can use that and say, okay, we are not even bringing them to Australia. Chinese can turn. You know how well they allow boats to they wouldn't let them come in. There was an agreement, and they just said no, because you said this. You said we started COVID, and they just started playing, using economic power against the Western world. They can do that, and the Western world, they are not sure what are they going to do. They are all running up and down. What are we going to do? For we Africa, our own leader will steal our money, take it to them. They are closing their borders all up and down against us. Now they will steal our money, go and put it in their bank. The interest alone, you know what that can do? Now our own people are suffering up and down. So it's for our leaders to stop whatever they are doing and rethink. They might have that money now, but what happens to their own generations to come? It's like when you're throwing stone in the market, you don't know who that's going to eat. Maybe not today, about 50 years' time. So may God help us. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight again. It's always good to be with you, Egmont and Wale. And we talk about all these things, and we have lots of people actually watching on Facebook, and there were comments. Unfortunately, my battery died. A few people were commenting there. So we appreciate everybody for joining us today. Until next Saturday again, when we come back with another fantastic show. You all take care. May God bless you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
It's LC the beat guy.